Live value, guys. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CampusCare EdTalks. EdTalks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. A topic for the day is education innovation in slums, and to express their viewpoints on the same, we have with us Dr. Ragini Kaul, ma'am, principal of Maxfort School, Paschim Vihar, New Delhi. A very welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's so good to have you here, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time.
Oh, my pleasure is mine as well. Yeah.
So, ma'am, let's start off with the session now, shall we?
Yeah, of course. Sure.
So, ma'am, firstly, how do you promote education in slums, ma'am?
Well, I think we've gone straight away to the slums. Before that, I would really like to, elaborate a little on the concept of education itself. What is education? Many of us, my apologies, please, many of us misconstrue it for the degrees and literally qualifications that we acquire over a period of time. But I would like to tell the audience, and I know all of us are, intelligent enough to know by now, that education is a very, very wide term. It is very holistic in nature. It's not only pertaining to the 3 hours that we impart to the children in schools or in colleges. It's more holistic in nature, which we need to introspect and work upon. That is, we hear of the skill education. We talk of national education policy, which focuses on the skill development in every child. Now, what are these skills? They aren't different. They are the same things that we have been hearing over a period of time, but we've not been focusing or tried to mainstream it into our curriculum, to weave it into the curriculum. It's about, how able are our students to handle themselves. They know we teach them mathematics, we teach them literature, we teach them n number of subjects, but are we teaching them to have the skill of handling themselves? Are our children becoming problem solvers? Can they handle themselves? Are they able to adjust themselves to the immediate, requirement of the surroundings? Are they team players? Are they good listeners? Many of us are good talkers, but are they good listeners? Now, this is what our education has to, focus on. And once we do it, Mac, trust me, only then will our children be in the mainstream schooling will be sensitized towards the lesser privileged people of our society. And when we talk of innovations in the slums, we have to understand that we have to be lifelong learners. Innovations have to happen everywhere, because if innovations don't happen, then we get stagnant, you know. And once our children are sensitized to this, on these basic skills about the lesser privileged counterparts, and till we do not make them grateful for what God has blessed them with, we won't be able to reach out to our slums. And the best way to bring in innovation is, I would say, through our children, through our system that is already existing, but we need to make it more robust in nature, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a really beautiful explanation of education by you. So, moving forward, ma'am, how do you think are the best strategies, the teachers can adapt to promote education in slum areas?
There are many, already. If we see our Western counterparts, why do they make military service for 1 year before recruiting them into the jobs? Why do they make it necessary? There must have been some in-depth research that must have gone into it. Similarly, I think the outreach programs every school has to involve themselves into, and by outreach programs, I mean, creating certain clubs in the classes, bringing the children out of the confines of the classrooms, encouraging them to start these clubs, and with the teachers will be there. They are facilitators. They should only ensure that learning is happening, that, development is happening. They should be the facilitators. They should not only be imparting knowledge, because we have to ensure that our children are learning. And when we get them involved into these outreach programs, which can be many, it's all about collaborating and coming together and weaving this into the fabric of our curriculum. Now it can be, achieved through going to the slums, organizing visits to the slums to actually make our children understand, so that not only children, the teachers, we ourselves, we should be visiting these areas and seeing for ourselves what actually these people, the kind of life they are living, the kind of things that are deprived to them. And when I say things, I mean to say the basic facilities that are deprived to them, the kind of socio-economic, cluster they are into, they are born into, and that they are living in. So unless and until we sensitize ourselves towards their basic needs, we won't be able to get involved. But it is high time that, we weave these programs, of outreach programs, of not only our children or we visiting the slums, getting them to our schools. Every school in its neighborhood could adopt a slum area and, organize through the academic session, various programs where it is a to and fro movement, children, getting them to our schools, taking them to the computer labs, showing them what technology is all about, and also through creative pursuits, dance, music, art. Whenever we celebrate functions and religious special assemblies and all that, why not make them a part of it? Why not make them do it? I remember when I was in DPS, year after year, we used to involve these children of the construction workers. Those days, this concept of, educating the 25% on mandatory basis wasn't there. But we always used to run these Shiksha Kendras in the afternoon there, where these children would be from our construction workers' children and of the constructions that would be going on all around the school. They would be attending our school, and enjoying the same facilities. And we would always ensure that at every event, one or two functions, we invite them and we give them 2 items, 3 items to participate in, to mix and mingle with the children. So this is the only way we can create awareness. And then, of course, street plays and stuff like that. Who doesn't know about it? And conduct these street plays where we generate awareness of the value of education, till we do not let them know what education can get them in life, how the education is the only medium for them to come out of that ruckus to live a nice, decent life. Till that awareness is not created in them, we will be defeating the purpose of, bringing any kind of innovation into the slum areas.
Thank you so much, Ragini ma'am. That was a really brief explain by you. Moving forward, ma'am, how do you think the teachers can bring innovation while promoting education, ma'am?
A lot of innovations can be brought in only if we are learners ourselves. Every teacher, each one of us has to understand that learning is an ongoing thing which goes on right from the cradle to the grave. At no point of time can we say that we are perfect. Nobody has been, nobody is, nobody ever will be perfect. There are always those ifs and buts and do's and don'ts and haves and have nots. It's a part of the journey, So every teacher can bring in the innovation if she is a learner herself, if she is working on herself, if she is continuously making efforts to stay abreast with the latest. These days we are fortunate. We live in an era of robust technology. Everything is available to us at the click of the button. We all know it, and there's so much to learn from our peers, not only in our state, not only in our country, but elsewhere abroad. What is a physics teacher doing in her class in, for example, West Virginia? is accessible to a physics teacher here in Delhi or in any other part of the country. So we are living in an era of shared information and knowledge. Now, gone are those days, when we would be confined to ourselves, our pluses and minuses. Now we should believe in shared information. Now, when we are aware and abreast of ourselves, of what is the latest, of techniques, of pedagogies, only then can the innovation be brought. And the CPD programs, the continuous professional development programs that every school, every educational institution should have as a must have, on their agenda. The continuous professional development of the faculty has to keep happening, because what the faculty is filters down to its other members, the younger generation, the students that we give back to the society. So there are many more programs, but we have to be a go-getter, So it depends on each one of us. What is it that we want in life? What is it that we want to achieve? And the most sensitive part is that we have to understand that schools are also factories, but we churn out human beings, not products.
Yes, ma'am.
Therefore, we are instrumental in bringing a change in the human lives. So we have to be very, very careful about these things. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, indeed. So, lastly, ma'am, can you tell us about some rules of governments and schools while promoting education in the slum areas?
You see, Mehak, government is an important stakeholder, and the education sectors, whether it is their own government schools or it is the private stakeholders, we are all important stakeholders, and nobody can work in isolation, unless and until there are certain government policies where they involve the educators across the globe, and across the private and the government sector, bring them together and discuss with them policies and discuss across the table, take ideas from the educators, and give ideas and help us in working out the logistics in implementing these policies. Now, there's a saying that together we can and we will make a difference. So we need to understand it, whether it's the government or it is the other stakeholders who are running the education in the country. We have to understand that our challenges lie in this sector, the slums. That is where our challenges lie. India has, a robust population. We know it. And that's our biggest challenge. And the divide or the gap between the educated and the non-educated is very, very wide. That's where we fail. Now, unless we don't work out strategies, the government and the private sector does not come together in unison and work in tandem with each other and work out strategies and policies for implementing and bridging this gap between the haves and the have-nots, nothing can be achieved. And for our country, if we have to progress, we have to work on this, and we have to bring this section of the society, out of the mud that they are living in. That's the only way out.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a really informative session with you. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time, ma'am.
My pleasure, Matt. Thank you for having me on board. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And for all the viewers watching us out, please subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mahek. You too. Thank you.